Okay, so this is going to be my 4th time filming this intro, and I don't know how to start it. Like, I'm so excited for this, but I'm also nervous. And why I'm nervous is because Loathe, this single and this song that we're about to watch and listen to, is my most anticipated single of the year. I've been waiting for Loathe, just like everybody else, for a while now for them to drop something, because if you're new to this band, I let it in and It Took Everything was their album from 2020, and it's one of the few records, very few records, I'd give 10 out of 10 to. I never do that. I know the numbers at the end of my review seem maybe a little bit arbitrary, where I give 9s, 8s, 7s, and you don't really see the things below 5. I don't put that on YouTube too much, but where I'm getting at is that I never give 10 out of 10. So I really think that what they did with their last record was one of the most creative, unique, thought-provoking records in a space that needed that kind of rejuvenation, refreshness, because metalcore is so convoluted that these guys were such a breath of fresh air. And so with this single, I got to keep my expectations to a minimum, because I'm just excited for them to be a band and writing more music. And I even got to meet the guys and get to know them a little bit better. And I'm just stoked for their future. So I'm excited, but I'm also nervous for the fact that we finally got new Loathe. This is a big deal. So I'm not going to waste any more time with this intro. Loathe, Gifted Every Strength. That's enough chit chat. Ooh. It's got a chunky groove. Spooky atmosphere still. Headed for the intro. It's so sludgy. Oh, getting punky now? This feels like prog metal right now. Yeah, very proggy. I don't know what it is with UK bands, but they all fucking want to be prog, and I love it. Oh, the drumming there. Oh man. This is even weirder than I thought it was going to be. Ooh. I can't believe we're finally getting new Loathe. Back to the groove, but going with like a dancey beat here. They're taking both elements, the heavies and the shoegazy side to them, and just keep switching it back and forth. It's still got like this certain 90s, early 2000s aesthetic to the sound, like the tones. Ooh, a solo? Okay. Yeah, this is already proggier than their last album. It's like more prog metal than metalcore. Are we fading out? I have no idea how the song's going to end. So weird. No, and I guess that's actually the end. Okay. Shit. All right. Well, let's talk about it. It's such an interesting predicament that the band is kind of in, because I Let It In and It Took Everything is beloved by the metalcore community, including myself, obviously. That where do they go for their next album? And they could, write the same record, maybe refine a couple things, or they can completely do a 180 and go into a different direction, or just continue on the elements that sound familiar, but get more experimental, get more weird with it. And that's what they did. This is sort of similar to a lot of the stuff from I Let It In, like the same kind of tones, the sludginess, the dark atmosphere, and the shoegazy element with like metalcore, like hard-hitting breakdown moments, but it's so much weirder. And this is where it's getting into prog metal territory. And I know Loathe is kind of like dabbled in prog metal, but I think like to really safely put them in a category, it would be metalcore. But the best thing about this band is that they're a little bit hard to categorize, because they also do a lot of shoegaze. But this song was prog metal, but not riffy like Dream Theater or something, but instead experimental and avant-garde. And it's so cool that a band like this people love, because they're writing music that is even more thought-provoking. Instead of writing a traditional single to really hook people in and get Spotify numbers up and all that stuff and feeding the algorithms, instead they're just writing music that just they want to be weird and uncomfortable and challenge themselves, but also challenge the listener. This song on first listen, there's a lot to take in. You need to have a couple more spins, because the layering, the detail, there's so much intertwining moments from guitars and tones and the bass lines and the drumming changes and everything, and the vocal variety on this. There's a lot happening with this song. This is more challenging to the listener than something that's really shreddy with a lot of arpeggios and really fast, because of all the different intertwined moments and things happening within the musicians. This is not just here's a guitar solo, here's like a crazy breakdown moment or something. This is just like everything was just, there's a lot happening with all the parts. It was so many moving parts of the song. Now, what they did here is they got weird, experimental, more progressive, and I'm a fan. Now, is this something that I can listen to a lot? To be honest, it's a bit of a challenge. It's a challenging song. And the thing about Loathe is that when I was listening to the singles from I Let It In and It Took Everything, I enjoyed them, but none of the songs really hit me quite as hard as White Hot, which was a split EP that they did with Holding Absence. And so when I went into the album, I was blown away by the flow and the artistic expression that they did from start to finish with that record. Now with this song, I'm going to only assume it's the same. They're going to write this. This is going to fit in an album that has so much more context and has so much more meaning. This is just a little small snippet, a piece to the puzzle, if you will. So it's really hard to really review this because this doesn't even feel like a single. It just feels like a part of an upcoming experience. They're an interesting band, and I'm so glad that people are loving them and they're getting on sick tours with the Spirit Box and other festivals and stuff, because they're challenging the status quo of a lot of music and how to get your music out there. Nothing about this feels trendy for algorithms, for the TikToks, or for, you know, big reaction moments. You know, reaction core gets a bad name too. And here, this is just weird out there music, and they're an album band. Anyway, I really did enjoy this. I need to listen to this a bunch more times, but right now I'm just going to give it an 8.6 because of how fresh it is, but it's also still challenging at the moment that I need to have some more time with it. So 8.6. But that is my thoughts on Loathe. Gifted every strength. I'm curious to know what your thoughts are, so comment down below. Spice up my life. Guys, what you think about this? I'd love to know. Also, if you got to this point of the video and you haven't clicked off, then I appreciate you sharing, man. Feel free to hit the subscribe button. Feel free to leave, like, enjoy the video. But on that, thank you for tuning in. Until next time. Peace.